Hello, once again, my fellow boxing fans. Well, it's the big one. Finally, we have waited for this fight for a long time, I guess. Yeah. Well, Lomachenko versus Haney, or Haney versus Lomachenko, since Haney is the undisputed champion. Uh, Now anyway. Still, well, but before I get to that fight, I will first talk about a couple of others that are also rather important. All right, first, well, let's do the lady fight. Chantelle Cameron versus Katie Taylor. Taylor, Tater. I'm trying to do the Irish accent, not very successful. Yes, so Chantelle is the undisputed super lightweight or light welterweight champion, and she's taking on Katie Taylor, the former. Maybe she's still the undisputed lightweight champion. I don't know. And in her own city of Ireland, Dublin, Ireland. Well, she's not from Dublin, but she's anyway from Ireland, the Republic. Yes, this is gonna be huge. I mean, one of the biggest fights in female boxing this year. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, maybe probably the biggest one. I mean, unless Michaela Mayer and Alicia Baumgartner fight again this year, which may well happen. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, so uh, Katie Taylor. Yeah, I mean, let me be completely honest. I've never been a big fan of her fighting style, really. She's not a very interesting fighter because she doesn't have anything special in her life. She's not super skilled or super. She doesn't hit hard. Or she doesn't. She's just tough. She works hard. Her punch output is high enough, and she has well has some really good wins on her record, but she hasn't yet defeated all the best ones out there either. And to be honest, against Amanda Serrano, she won only because she was naturally bigger and heavier. She took some really big ones in that fight. She got bruised up, and yeah, but Amanda wasn't able to really get to her because she's just naturally smaller and lighter. So she wasn't able to knock her out because of that, and then she tired, and Katie came back and got the decision. Yeah, how fair that was, you be the judge. But anyway, Chantelle Cameron, on the other hand, she is very. I mean, both are unbeaten, 17-0 for Chantelle and 22-0 for Katie. Chantelle has slightly better knockout percentage of 47% against 27 for Katie. Well, it's pretty much better. But anyway, yeah, I mean, since the fight is in Dublin, and Katie is still a bigger name than Chantelle, I can see this not really being judged completely fairly or objectively, unfortunately. But if Chantelle manages to win enough rounds, she's really a rather fast, aggressive, also hardworking fighter, tough, has very good punching accuracy as well, better than Taylor, I would say. So I think I would pick her to win if everything is goes fairly. But we cannot trust that. Being we know how big Katie Taylor is in Ireland and in Britain in general. So, but Chantelle is also getting there after defeating Jessica McCaskill and a few others. She hasn't yet gotten quite a record such as Katie, but she did turn pro later as well. So she has five fewer fights than Katie Taylor. But the win over Jessica McCaskill definitely cemented her reputation as a top fighter. So to make this short and sweet, I think Chantelle Cameron should win this fight, but will she get the decision? That's another thing. It might end up as a draw as well. I can see that happening. But anyway, that's it. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Alright, so another fight before we get to the main one that is rather interesting is Junto Nakatani versus Andrew Moloney. It's for a vacant WBO Super Flyweight title. Yes, Nakatani is the undefeated fighter coming here 24-0, 18 knockouts. And yeah, he can hit hard, pretty hard, obviously. But he still hasn't gotten any really big names on his record. I mean, the biggest one I see here is Milan Melindo, who was kind of, a solid fighter, yeah, from the Philippines, but never really like a big name or anything. Just he fought some, big names earlier. Yeah, like Juan Francisco Estrada. Yeah, so yes, Nakatani, that's him. And Moloney is 25, 2-0 with 16 knockouts. So he's not a really hard puncher, but I guess against weaker fighters he does some win on by knockout often. So both his losses came against Joshua Franklin on points. Yeah, I mean, it's just he doesn't have any big wins either, to be honest. And I think probably his brother is the stronger of the two, stronger fighter, stronger name, Jason, yeah, who just fought last week and won. Yeah. So, yeah, one must favor Nakatani here, I guess. On paper, he looks like a stronger fighter here, and he's unbeaten. So, he actually has already won the WBO flyweight title. Yeah, I see. Yeah, he's like one of the biggest names out of Japan. I mean, in recent years, anyway. Definitely, yeah. So it would be natural to expect him to win, of course. So, but this is his first fight. Well, not the first one. First one in Vegas, and I see he's fought once in Tucson, Arizona, once. So his power was really good at flyweight, but this is super flyweight. How will it translate? I don't know. Well, but I doubt he will stop Moloney, who is a tough fighter, tough cookie, never been stopped before. Maybe in the later rounds, I don't know, but perhaps it would be better to pick a decision for Junto Nakatani, yeah, in that regard. So that's what I'm gonna do, yeah, I think. Alright, now we go to the main fight. So, Vasyl Lomachenko is returning once again at the age of 35. How much does he have left in his tank? Is it gonna be enough to for final one final great performance? Because that's what he's gonna need to defeat Devin Haney, of course, definitely. And fighting a young, promising American fighter in Las Vegas and himself not being, many people saying he's now somewhat shop worn, having not fought before for a while, like, you know, so having not been too active. Last year he only had one fight actually, That was in October, and he didn't look all that great, but he won against a promising young fighter, Jermaine Ortiz. Yes, before that he looked good against Richard Comey and Masayoshi Nakatani, and but the loss to Teofimo Lopez was the one that kind of set him back. First, as I said earlier, I don't really regard it as a real loss. First of all, he wasn't he fully recovered from the shoulder injury. Another thing was that he just gave away too many rounds before he started and coming on. And when he turned it on, he was, dominating the fight. But again, he kind of faded in the last round, and that enabled Teofimo Lopez to come back and earn that decision. But I personally thought it could have been a draw also. But anyway, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, that's for Loma. And now we go to Haney. Haney is 29 and old with 15 knockouts. He's 24 years of age. A little taller, but not by much, by an inch than Loma. Yeah. Of course, his two great wins were against George Cambosos Jr. Then he also has wins over Joseph Giorgio Diaz, Jorge Linares, who was, past his prime. Anyway, Gamboa also past prime. Zaur Abdullayev, that was a good win when he stopped him. Yeah, Antonio Moran, he knocked him out. But he doesn't have many knockout victories anyway. I mean, he is the type that, pretty much like Floyd Mayweather, who he seeks to emulate, obviously. When he really times you perfectly, and when he lands the perfect punch, then he can knock you out. But otherwise, he's not that kind that can knock people out with one punch or just a few. He's not that type, a devastating puncher. He's more of a boxer, of course. So he's at the top of his game now, and he's the undisputed lightweight champion. Yet, yes, but I don't see it lasting very long. Even if he doesn't lose here, he might lose against someone like Shakur Stevenson, or Tank Davis, and even I mean, if he doesn't fight them, it might happen that I heard that there are talks about him moving up soon, to 140 because he's kind of starting to outgrow the 135. So yeah, I mean, I can easily see him ending his career at welterweight. Yes. Well, of course. I mean, the most logical thing would go to go, would be to favor Haney to win, and cause you don't know with Lomachenko is too much of a risk to pick him as the winner, because we know he can produce a great performance still probably, but he hasn't done that now. In his last fight he didn't do it, and yeah, so yeah, it's very hard. I mean, my heart tells me that Loma will win, but my brain tells me that Haney will win. So that's pretty hard to decide. Of course, he can win, but the odds are just stacked against Loma. Of course, he can always defy the odds, but based on his last performance, he should not win this fight. Definitely not. But that was just one fight, alright? And it's not like he's like 40 years old or something, so that's old. We've already seen the best of him. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't, That's how it is. However, Haney is, as I said, the home fighter and the new young star, and I mean, even if the fight is close, which probably will be the case, if Haney wins enough rounds, like six rounds, only he will get the nod, most likely. Yes. Um, yeah, so Lomachenko will not be favored, of course, by the judges. So, and we know how it works. Now, in judging in USA, also, there's not so much. The judges are not always impartial, to put it that way. We've seen a lot of funny scorecards in the past few years, yeah. But yeah, I think the thing is, Loma's style is best suited for people who like to come forward. So he negates their offense with his extraordinary speed and reflexes and all that. But with Haney, he doesn't really come forward that much. He's more of a defensive fighter, so he will have to fight differently. He will have to adjust his game to Haney, right? He will have to find a way to make Haney come to him or draw him into exchanges, but not be too aggressive because then Haney will find the right way to counter that aggression or just yeah counter punch and box and yeah, then it will be hard for Loma to win many rounds, of course, that way. But he still has the speed and I guess athleticism advantage, even at the age of 35. It's not, I don't like that people like say 35 as it was 45 or 50. It is maybe when you have really had a long career as a pro, but Lomachenko hasn't had that long career in the pros, right? So it's been like about 10 years now. So, I mean, yeah, I think Lomachenko's best chance is actually if to win by a knockout, but of course that will not be easy, as we know. Yeah, so my prediction is that probably, yeah, it can go two ways, right? If either Loma produces an amazing performance and just shuts out Haney and wins, or Haney just manages to outbox him and win enough rounds to get the decision. So out of those two, which one is the most likely outcome? Well, probably the second one. So that's why probably the most obvious, logical choice would be to go for Haney winning on points. So that would be all. Yeah. All right. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you until next week. Bye.